Well, good morning, Hollywood Times listeners. Judy Shields here. We are honored to have Grammy Award honoree, a Songwriter Hall of Fame member, a BBC Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and his smash hit American Pie resides in the Library of Congress National Recording Registry, the one and only Don McLean. Hi, Don.
Hi there. How are you?
Woo, that was a mouthful.
Yep, you're up there high in the sky.
I am, boy. What a place to be, right? And where are you calling in
Yes.
from?
I'm calling you from Palm Desert, California.
Palm Desert. No
Yeah.
way. Wow.
Yeah, I discovered this place about 15 years ago, and I have property out here. I'm still a Maine resident, but I spend time out here.
I'm going to Palm Springs this weekend. We could have done this live and in person.
Well, I hope you have a nice trip. It's lovely out here.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Have you ever seen the Albert Brooks movie called Defending Your Life?
I have not. I'll have to check it out.
Well, he goes to Judgment City, and Judgment City is really where you go after you die before you have to really be judged. It's his masterpiece, really. And you look at the television, and every day has the sun out. Sunny, 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 sunny. That's Palm Desert. Judgment City.
There you go. I could vouch for that. I do love it out there.
Very nice.
Well, I have a few questions for you. I wanted to start out with 2021. That sounds so weird, right? 2021 marked the 50th anniversary of American Pie. What was it like to be out on tour that year?
Well, I've been on tour 21, 22, and 23 now, pursuing this, and we're also doing the 50th anniversary of Vincent, so we're really flogging this and making the most out of it. And I did 10 months in the United States, all sorts of wonderful theaters and festivals, and then went to England and Ireland and did another 15 shows there, and then I came back and had a little time off, and then went to Australia and did 24 shows in Australia and New Zealand, and I just got back, I guess, about 3 weeks ago. And now I'm starting to travel around the country, and I'll stay in the United States, I suppose. And then next year will be the Far East. So that's my plan, as far ahead as I can look.
Well, also the album cover American Pie. I wanted to ask you about the artwork. Whose idea was that? The thumb.
That was a guy named George Whiteman. It's a long story, but I was with a company called BD Arts Records, and we put out, the first album was Tapestry. And that was a blue cover. It's quite memorable, and that album is still around. And then I was working on this second record, and furiously, because I had basically written every song I knew how to write, put it on the first record, and now I had another one I was supposed to do. I said, I don't have any material. So I was running around and really focused on this, and came up with all this stuff. And they loved it, so they sent me to George Whiteman, who was basically a fashion photographer. And this guy was just he was a handsome man, and he had a big Rolls Royce parked out in front of his house, and these gorgeous models would come in and kiss, Georgie boy, and Georgie boy knew all the models, and I'm telling you, I was in high cotton with this guy. And he said to me, Don, I said, yes, George. He said, I want to paint your thumb. I said, go ahead. So he brought me in, and he painted my thumb and put a star on it, and said, take the guitar out, and I want you to sight down the guitar and put the thumb up like you're giving me the thumbs up, and that's how we did it. And nobody knows where that session went. There are hundreds of photographs, and nobody knows where any of them are. It's just that we only have 3. The cover, the back cover, and then one other one. That's it.
Wow. 3. That doesn't seem right, does it?
But there were at least 300. I mean, the guy really was amazing. And I got in touch with him, actually, a few years ago. He lives Didane. And Andre Didane used to take nude pictures of gorgeous models running through the sand dunes in the 1950s. And this guy, George, was just like Andre. He was the same kind of guy, you know.
Wow. Yeah, nothing like photography. It's amazing what these men and women can do. Yes.
In those days, too.
Yeah. I also just recently read where you wrote a poem about William Boyd, a.k.a. Hopalong Cassidy, that was printed on some of the CD sleeves.
Yeah, and the poem is in the hospital on the wall where he died. It's sort of a bas relief in some kind of bronze. And it's also, you can read about it in his Wikipedia. Anyway, I'm a huge Western fan, and William Boyd is part of my life. You know, you'll find him sneaking around in album covers and
Oh,
here
wow.
and there, you know, because he's a symbol of something. I could go on about this, but one of the reasons I'm in Palm Desert is because of William Boyd. Because I was coming out and I discovered the desert because I was thinking of buying his house.
Wow.
And I saw the house and I decided there was a miscommunication. I didn't buy it, but I got to know the guy that did buy it, and he had it loaded with Hopalong Cassidy memorabilia.
Oh.
And he just sold out a while ago. But anyway, I discovered the area, and God, I mean, I was just nuts. You know, I just thought it was so beautiful, and the architecture and the light and the air and the birds. Everything is different from Maine. You know, the birds have a very gentle song they sing. In Maine, the birds are rough, boy. They have to make it through the winter, you know, and the meat eaters, you know, owls and hawks, and rough customers.
Well, there you go. Welcome to the desert. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, beautiful. Just really enchanting. Years of my life were just suffused with happiness because of finding this place.
Oh, yeah, I do. I love classic radio and all Hopalong Cassidy.
The novels were written by, what was his name? The guy. He came from Maine, actually.
Oh.
The man who wrote the Hopalong Cassidy novels was Clarence Mulford, and he came from Maine. And his original character in the book was a little bit more like Gabby Hayes, really. But William Boyd had been a silent screen star, and he carried himself like that. He was different from the other guys. The other cowboy stars were basically country boys. William Boyd was a country boy. He came from Ohio, but he was a sophisticate, and he was a good friends with Rudolph Valentino. And William Boyd really knew how to act. He was terrific. The voice he had, that beautiful face and everything. And the early movies, there's some very, very powerful scenes in those pictures. And because he was a very good natural actor, he didn't roll his eyes, you know, and do all these things that silent screen stars did when they first started in the movies when sound came in, which killed their careers, of course.
Yes. My next question is, my cousin Ed wanted to know, who is the jester in American Pie?
Well, Ed's going to have to see the movie.
Okay.
The Day the Music Died, the story of Don McLean's American Pie on Paramount Plus. I defer all questions about the song to the movie now. It's going to come out on DVD, but it's out on Paramount Plus. You can stream it.
Okay, Paramount Plus. Got it. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. What was it like telling your story of that song in a documentary?
You know, that's an interesting question because I've been questioned about the song, and I've sung it all these years, and people, it's you know, it's the primary focus of Don McLean, you know, in spite of the fact that I wish people would talk about other songs, they can't get past this song.
Yes.
And so I decided to make this movie. Actually, I didn't decide to do it. A man named Spencer Proffer, who's made many documentaries, said, would you like to do this? And I thought to myself, not really. But then I thought, well, I'll do some of it, but I'm not, you know, I've done documentaries before and so on and so forth. So I said, and I got started. And I realized 10 years prior, when I was, from the time Buddy Holly died, roughly 10 years, it was more than that, but I used 10 years, poetic license. So I realized, my God, from the time Buddy died, I was a paper boy, of course. And that's in the song, with every paper I deliver bad news on the doorstep. That's exactly how I found out that Buddy Holly's plane had crashed. And because I was a paper boy. So it's all biographical, you see, in the song. And one of the things that I do, I'm going to pat myself on the back here a little bit and say that I am a unique songwriter. I don't write songs like anybody else. My songs are not like Dylan, they're not like Elton, they're not like James Taylor, they're not like anybody. And they're all different. And I love to do that. And I just get involved. And I don't care where it leads, and I don't care whether people are going to like it or not either. It's just what I do.
I love your stuff. Keep doing it.
Yeah, I want to be able, and I'm an old guy now, and I want to look in the mirror and say, everything I recorded, I meant.
Great.
I meant every word of every song I recorded, and I've recorded probably 400 tracks or more.
Wow.
And every one of those songs means something to me, and every one of those songs I meant. And it's not sing this, it's a hit, or try this one, Don. I mean, I had many arguments with producers who were trying to give me songs to sing. I said, I'll sing what I want to sing. I don't sing what you give me,
Good. Well, what do you love most about songwriting and creating music?
I don't like songwriting all that much. In fact, I'm really glad I'm not going to make any more records, and I'm probably not going to write any more songs. It's like, it's like an itch you can't scratch, and you're constantly aggravated by this damn thing that you want to get right, and it's elusive and so on. So you're always wrestling with something, and I admire people like Shel Silverstein, for example, who could write a whole bunch of funny songs for those old men on TV that was around a few years ago. I mean, the guy had so much talent. He could do that. I can't do that. I have to write it. It's very personal. Empty Chairs, songs like that. Vincent, Castles in the Air. These are, and I Love You. So these are personal type songs. A lot of my life is tied up in my music and the songs I've written and the records I've made. A lot of my life is in those grooves, really.
Well, thank you for that honest answer. Appreciate it.
I don't know how to be anything else.
Awesome. Love it. I also saw the video of the Prime Minister from South Korea saying American Pie at the White House. What was it like when you saw that on that video?
Well, we were given the heads up on that he was going to they wanted me to come to the White House and sing the song for him, or he was going to sing it with me. It was going to be a big deal. But I was in Australia touring, so I couldn't do that. So we sent him a signed guitar and a nice welcome, and he was delighted with that. Now we're talking about going to South Korea next year, and really, really doing it up. One thing I want to mention also is that this is a little side issue here. A lot of people mention to me that, isn't today like the 1960s? And I say, well, I don't really think so, because you don't really know what anybody thinks. Everyone's afraid to really have an opinion, especially if it's crossways with what everybody's supposed to say. And so I said, furthermore, this George Floyd murder would have been written by 5 different songwriters, in the 1960s. And not one person has written one word about it. So guess what? I wrote a song about George Floyd called The Ballad of George Floyd, and it's going to be on the next album I come out with, which is already in the can. It's called American Boys. And it's going to be a video on the George Floyd song, which we're going to be uploading at some point in the future.
Wow, you go. That's going to be a great project.
I haven't changed a bit.
Good for you. I also saw where you have this really cool t-shirt that's available through Maurice's retail store online. Let me tell you folks, this is really cool. It says American Pie, drove my Chevy. It's got an old Chevy truck to the levee, but the levee was dry. Don McLean. Was that sort of your idea? Where'd that come from, this t-shirt?
There's all sorts of merchandise on me. I mean, I don't, that idea probably came from the mind of Kurt Webster in Nashville. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. If you look up Don McLean merchandise,
I could fill my room, huh?
a ton of stuff.
Well, cool. I'm looking forward to having the shirt. I want to come out and see you, folks. Don's going to be here in SoCal at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills on Saturday, September 9th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love the Saban Theater. It's one of my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
I can't wait to go to that.
I got 2 electric guitar players, bass, drum, keyboards, and old Don on acoustic, and this thing rocks and rolls. I'll tell you what, we really rock and roll.
Oh, I can't wait to go. And then you're going to be at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano Friday, September 15th. So we got you here a couple of nights, a couple of weekends.
Yeah, I've got some things in California. I got a California girlfriend too, so we are having a good time.
Nice, very cool. You going to do any impromptu concerts over there in Palm Desert at all while you're here?
There's nothing booked at the moment, but you never know what can pop up. There's so many of these. I played a few of these casinos before, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that something will happen.
Well, cool, because we look forward to catching you when we can.
Okay.
So what you're currently working on is this new album coming next year?
Yeah, the album should be coming out before the end of this year. Also, there's going to be a box set, which I hear Universal is putting together of the first 6 albums that I made for United Artists, which are really a beautiful idea because that's the real early Don McLean, that people remember.
Yeah.
And so it's all going to be in a nice box set, and it may or may not include the new album. I don't know, but and then I've got the new album and the box set, and we're going to have a new children's book called Vincent, and that's the Vincent part of this thing. And we have a American Pie, a Fable, that's out. That's a children's book, and now we have another one called Vincent, beautifully done by Jade Bird, who is Spencer Proffer's wife and very talented.
Yeah, that first book is so amazing. The drawings, illustrations. So I can't wait for the second one. That's going to be coming out. When's that one going to be out, Vincent?
That one's coming out pretty soon. I'm going to be doing a lot of promotion to that. And of course, the day the music died, the documentary is a hit. Everybody gave it rave reviews, so it's going to be around forever.
Well, we'll make sure we get that out on a link so that all of our listeners can watch it. I've seen some of it, and it's like, wow. Great job.
That's right. Yes.
Great job. The Recording Industry of America rated American Pie song top 5 song of the 20th century. Did you ever imagine that happening?
The Recording Industry of America did 2 things. They rated American Pie as the 5th greatest song of the 20th century. And they also certified me as having sold 50 million albums worldwide. Now, really, really big stars sell 200 million or, 250 million or something, but I don't think people would realize how many albums I have sold. That's quite a few.
Yeah, congratulations.
It was a big surprise for me.
Well, you deserved it. And we look forward to the new album, and also, like I said, seeing you in Beverly Hills and in San Juan Capistrano.
Well, thank you. Very nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll see you strolling out in Palm Desert.
Well, that's fine. You'll probably see me walking around.
We hope so.
I I have to take this call now.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Bye-bye.
talking to us. Take care now.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.